you apologize to my lover.
She didn't lower her voice. She didn't even hesitate. She screamed it like she wanted the walls themselves to hear. Get out until you apologize to my lover. The word lover. It echoed in my head, feeling so strange and unreal, like it belonged to a character in a movie, not to me, not in my own life. I just stood there in the living room, shoes still on, car keys still in my hand, staring at the woman I had been married to for 12 long years. Her face was flushed, bright red, but it wasn't from shame. It was pure rage that I wasn't obeying her command fast enough. And behind her, he was standing near the kitchen counter. He looked so relaxed, so confident. He was wearing my house slippers, my slippers like he owned the place, like he belonged there more than I did. I looked from her face to his, then back to her again. I took a slow breath, and then I nodded. Okay, I said, just that one single word. And it seemed to confuse her more than if I had screamed back, more than if I had started a fight. She just blinked, her mouth slightly open. It was clear she was expecting an argument, maybe some begging, or at the very least, a few tears. Instead, I turned around and walked straight to the bedroom. I grabbed the small overnight bag I always use for my work trips. She followed me, of course, her voice still raised, still yelling. Don't you dare act calm now. You've been disrespecting him for weeks. This is all your fault. I didn't respond. I just started folding clothes, slowly, deliberately. Each movement felt heavy, final. Each shirt I folded was like closing a chapter. Say you're sorry, she demanded, her voice cracking with impatience. If you want to come back here, you have to apologize to him. I finished zipping the bag and finally looked up at her, right in her eyes. I won't be coming back. She laughed, a sharp, ugly sound. You always say that. You'll be back by morning. This time I didn't bother to explain. I didn't argue. I just picked up my bag. As I walked past the kitchen on my way to the door, her lover smirked at me. You should have just listened to her, he said, his voice dripping with condescension. I stopped, turned to face him, and gave him a small, tight smile. And you, I said, should have read the lease. He frowned, the smirk vanishing, but I didn't wait for him to process it. I just walked out the door and closed it quietly behind me. That night I slept in a quiet, anonymous hotel room. I just stared at the ceiling, replaying all the years I had tried so hard to ignore. The late nights she claimed were with friends. The way she'd angle her phone away from me whenever a message came in. The way she had slowly, almost imperceptibly, stopped saying my name. I realized then that respect had left our marriage long before the love did. By the next morning, my phone had 23 messages from her. Not a single one was an apology. They were instructions, demands. When are you coming back? You embarrassed me in front of them. He's really upset with you. And the final one, if you don't apologize by noon, don't even bother returning. I read them all, one by one, and replied to none of them. Instead, I went to my office and started making a few phone calls I had been avoiding for far too long. First, I called my lawyer. The house was in my name. I had bought it with my own savings years before we even got married. The business I had built from the ground up, also mine. Yes, she had helped along the way. She was a part of it, but the ownership documents were clear. The joint bank accounts were exactly that, joint. Half was hers, half was mine. By noon, my lawyer had confirmed everything I already knew. I didn't need her permission to leave my own house. And I definitely didn't need her permission to end our marriage. That evening, I waited until I knew they were out. I used my key to go back to the house. I didn't take any furniture. I didn't take the framed photos off the walls. I took the things that mattered, the things that separate fantasy from cold, hard reality. I took documents. The deed to the house, business contracts, my passport, her passport. I gathered every piece of paper that defined our lives together. And before I left, I had a locksmith come and change every single lock on the doors. The first call came about an hour later. When she came home and realized her key didn't work, she completely lost control. She screamed. She pounded on the door so hard I thought she might break it, as if the house itself had personally betrayed her. When I finally answered through the new intercom system, her voice was frantic, panicked. What is wrong with you? Open this door right now. I kept my own voice calm and steady. This is still my house, I said. You told me to leave until I apologized. I left. There was a pause. You can't do this to us, she cried. Where are we supposed to go? I waited a beat before I answered. Ask your lover. Then, just silence. The next few days were pure chaos. First, she tried threats. Then she tried tears. Then she tried reminding me of the love we once had. Then she went right back to blaming me for everything. When none of it worked, she showed up at my office with papers divorce demands that made it painfully clear she still believed I would just roll over and give her whatever she wanted. She thought I was the same man she had screamed out of the house. I wasn't. The truth came out fast once the lawyers got involved. Her lover wasn't just her lover. He was unemployed. He was deep in debt. He had been living off her promises and, by extension, my money. The moment the financial reality of the situation became clear, his confidence vanished. He was gone within a week. But she wasn't. She came back alone, a few weeks later. She was standing outside my office one evening, waiting for me. Her eyes were swollen and red. Her voice was trembling. I made a mistake, she said. I didn't think you would actually leave. I just looked at her. That, I replied, was your biggest mistake. She asked if we could talk. I agreed, but on my terms.